Hi, I'm Lisa Hager, and I'm an Associate Professor of English, Gender, Sexuality, and Women's Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee at Waukesha. And I'll also be one of the presenters in the upcoming NAVSA Pedagogy Roundtable. And as part of our roundtable, we thought we would provide a short introductory video to some of Zoom's settings that are useful during meetings and roundtables and other kinds of things so that people can feel comfortable from the beginning of our roundtable. So, first of all, I've set up a meeting with myself, actually with my phone that's in the other room, and I have sent myself a link. So here's the link. This is something that you will probably get from Anna as part of our panel. So if I click on the link, it is going to open up my Chrome application, my web browser, and it gives you the option to open in Zoom meetings. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and download Zoom, the application, because it has a lot more functionality than it does in your web browser, be that Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari, whatever you're using. So I'm going to open in Zoom meetings, and now I have a couple of choices here. So first of all, you'll notice I always preview my dialogue in case there's something embarrassing happening between me. It's always a good idea. I have the option to join with video and join without video. I highly recommend that you always join any kind of large meeting without video, because that way you don't automatically interrupt somebody. It gives you a second to get yourself organized. If there is something going on embarrassing behind you, you can deal with that particular thing before starting your video. So I'm actually going to join my own meeting without video so that you can see what this looks like. Okay, so here you can see my meeting, and I've joined entirely without video, and I am just now being seen as my profile picture. So whatever you set as your profile picture in Zoom, you will see here when you log in without video. So just be aware that that will be the picture that people see. In case you're curious about my phone account's profile picture, that is James Pinson Bulow Davies and Sarah Forbes Bonetta Davies, and this is from the National Portrait Gallery, so I thought I would give us a little bit of interesting imagery to look at. And she is the goddaughter of Queen Victoria, which I think is quite fascinating and something that we should all probably pay a lot better attention to. So let's go back to our meeting here. So here's my meeting. I'm going to now turn on my video so that you can see me as I'm doing all of this. Hello again. So a couple of other options. You'll notice I have the option to mute my microphone. If I do that, there will be a red line, and you will no longer see the green going up and down here as I talk. So mute, unmute. I tend to mute myself always in any kind of meeting that I'm in, be it on Zoom or WebEx, GoToMeeting, Google Chat, whatever. Unless you're talking back and forth with somebody, go ahead and mute yourself, because it does cut down on a lot of feedback issues. And also, if bizarre things happen at your house, I have animals and small children, both of which nobody wants to hear all of the time, so I generally keep my mic muted unless I am actually speaking. So you can also stop your video as you want to do, turn on, turn off, that kind of thing. Now, in the video button, there's actually a little arrow, if you see here, and it gives you a number of settings, and so let's start there. First of all, you can change your camera. I actually have a separate camera hooked up to my laptop. The benefits of having a tech spouse that can provide me with a pretty good webcam. A couple other things I can do here. I can have a virtual background, so if you see people playing around with those, that's how you do it. And I want to go ahead and click on this video settings here. So you'll see I get a number of things. I can look at my settings. I can have, when I set up meetings, I can have participant names display. I can turn off my video when joining a meeting. So if you always want the default to be no video and then only turn on when you want it to, you can go ahead and select that. I like to always have the preview dialogue so I can make sure, again, that there's nothing going on behind me because it's hard to say what might be happening. I can also choose to hide non-video participants. I definitely recommend doing this if you're in any kind of large meeting, including our roundtable. And Anna will be reminding everybody to do this when we actually have the roundtable. So you'll notice here, and I'm just going to move this over, that because my host is not giving any video right now, if I click that, they're going to go away. So basically what it does is it only shows people who have their video turned on. And for the purposes of our roundtable, that will enable you to only see the presenters and not see random blank screens of everybody's profile pictures or just names. So there's that. And you can decide what you want to see here. You can spotlight your video when you speak, all these other things. So it's good to kind of explore some of these settings and see what your options are as you have a few minutes here and there. Okay, so now that we've set that up, let's leave that alone. Now, it can also be helpful to look at the participants in a session. So if I click on this, I'll see both myself and the other people attending. So this is helpful if you wanted to know who all is there, what's going on in a general way. Other things that are in the participants window, this ability to raise your hand. This is really nice if you have a question and you don't want to interrupt somebody while they're speaking. For the purposes of our roundtable, we are going to save questions for the end, but even in the Q&A session, you may not want to interrupt somebody, but you may want to indicate that you want to speak next. And this is a really great way of doing this without jumping in and being super awkward and the audio messing up and all of those things. So if I raise my hand, you'll notice I get a little blue hand here next to myself. And I can also lower my hand. So if I accidentally click it or I'm like, oh, I don't want to actually ask my question, I can just click lower hand. So that's pretty easy to do. And it is the equivalent of, in a classroom, raising and lowering your hand, which is where it kind of comes from. I also have the ability to chat. Here is the chat. You can have it in the window. If I had actual participants, I would see that there. Now, in terms of the chat, I know some people really like it. I'm one of the people who I actually find it helpful to keep me paying attention to the meeting. It helps me have sort of that interactive part of the meeting that you don't necessarily get in video conferences and things like that. However, I know there are a lot of people who find that to be distracting. You can turn it off. You can just not open it. We will, for the purposes of our roundtable, as well as other NAVSA events, be archiving the chat and saving it for future use. So if you want to look at it later, I will actually have it in our Google Drive folder. So it'll be there. It's not going anywhere. You can look at it later. Now, one thing that Amy recently shared with me, which I think is really useful to know if you're a slightly snarky person like myself, do not send snarky things privately over the chat that you don't want recorded in the archive, because even if I send a one-to-one message to somebody, it is indeed going to be recorded in the chat. And I did not know that, and am very happy to know that for future reference. I can share my screen. You will not be sharing your screen unless you're presenting, so that's not really a big deal to know about. You can also react, which I think is kind of fun. You can give a thumbs up or clapping. Those are also very nice, so I can dig that. So those are some basics with the menu. Now, a couple other things. If you go up here to speaker view, and you'll also see the option to switch to full screen. So this is what full screen looks like. And then I can toggle back and forth between them. I tend to leave it not in full screen just because I like to see this participants / chat window. And let me actually send a chat message just so you can see what that looks like. So if I say hi, enter, you will see my chat. I can also select individual people, so I could select other people to send. So there's the chat. Now, up here, as I was speaking about, in the upper right-hand corner, this speaker view is really helpful. So for the bulk of any kind of presentation where you're attending a roundtable or a conference or some sort of, my chancellor's always doing town halls and Zoom, so something like that, you can just click speaker view, and then you'll notice you only see the speaker. Now, because I'm not the host of the meeting, you're seeing me sort of privileged here, but that will be different for our session. So what you would see is this person being centered as the speaker, because I'm myself, and so it doesn't like to show me myself a lot. But what you would see is, in place of this lovely portrait, you would see the speaker of the particular event. So they would be front and center, and then you wouldn't be staring at yourself all the time. You can also, if you would like, turn off your own video just so you don't see it, which is always nice. Now let me get out, let me go back to gallery view. So if you have a bunch of people who are speaking, for example, in the Q&A on our roundtable, you might actually prefer to be in gallery view, which is this view. I also call it the Brady Bunch view, where you have a bunch of squares, that kind of thing. And then the speaker view is what we were in before. So this is gallery view, this is speaker view. Gallery view, speaker view, just so you know what it looks like. Now, a couple things you can do in your own video window. So as you know, you can stop video, that kind of thing. I can mute myself very easily. So muting, oops, switch between, exit full screen. I hate it when I do that, and then let me go back there. Okay. So a couple other things you can do. You can mute your audio, stop your video. You can also rename yourself. And I find that very helpful. So I will generally, when I join a meeting, and I'll do it right now, put in my gender pronouns. So that way other people can address me correctly. If it's a professional type thing, I often do my institutional affiliation, which is super long. Oh my gosh, it's so many characters. So if I click OK, then you will now see under my video, you will see Lisa Hager, they, them, UWM at Waukesha. So that's very easy to do. This is also something you might, if you use Zoom for your classes, let students know about, because often students don't know about this. And if they use a different name than their legal name, be they trans, a lot of international students do this as well, they can easily change that name so that it's the name they actually use in the classroom. So that's a really helpful thing. You can also hide your self view. So if you find it distracting to see yourself in meetings, but you do want to show your video, you can hide your self view. Your video is still visible to everybody in the meeting, but you're not seeing it. So if I click this, you'll notice that all I see is the host, because that's the only person who is there. And then I just click show self view, and there we go. So that's also, I think, a helpful thing to know about. So I hope that these are helpful tips for you as you are navigating Zoom. Please let us know if you have any questions. I'm sure that Anna would be happy to give them to me or to other people if you have questions before our actual presentation. So I look forward to seeing you all at the roundtable, and I hope this helps you navigate Zoom a little better.